Hi. I think a 3-year update is a little bit overdue. Just wanted to, I guess, create another video as a follow-up because I do get a lot of messages still on this channel, and everyone is asking how I am after 3 years. Good news is there's no sign of cataract. So just for those of you who didn't watch all the videos, I had a full vitrectomy on my right eye 3 years ago, and that went without any incidents. It was pain-free. It was quite easy. And watching online and being part of a vitrectomy Facebook group, I gotta say I'm probably one of the very lucky one which I didn't have any issues. No issues, no side effects. Again, the cataract probably is the main concern for everyone. And I just want to repeat that the cataract, as my doctor says, is a question of when. It's not a question of if. So bottom line, 3 years after, no sign of cataract. Now, I did have a recent follow-up with my doctor, just a routine check following a little bit of an incident, but that's irrelevant. I went to the ophthalmologist, the same doctor who did the vitrectomy 3 years ago, and there's absolutely no sign of a cataract. And he was surprised, and he mentioned that he's surprised, and it is likely that within 5 to maybe 10 or 5, 7, I probably will get one, just because of the fact that the vitreous is gone and the oxidation, I don't know exactly the chemical terms, something will happen with the front of the eye. I'm happy at this point. I have no issues, and my life is back. I didn't think about floaters ever since. That means I moved on with life. Left eye still full of floaters, but my brain totally ignores it at this point. So I thought I'm gonna have to do the second eye, but that's not the case. Now, as I'm approaching middle age, if not already, my eyes acuity is dropping. So it's something that I would expect. Trouble with the vision, but it has nothing to do with the vitrectomy. So normally my vision is getting a little bit poorer, especially the fact I'm looking at the screen 8 hours a day. There's always a break, let's say for a holiday, and I don't have to look at the screen, my vision slightly comes back, which is good. I think I have a pretty good vision for my age. Completely unrelated with the vitrectomy, I did have a couple of incidents over these holidays just passed, where I did have a eye disturbance. Did see a gray spot for a few moments in one of the eyes, which I panicked. I thought my retina has detached, and coincidentally it was the right eye. I went to the doctor, I went to the hospital. The whole thing lasted only 10 seconds, but the scare was there. Ended up in the emergency because I was scared, and they checked, nothing was wrong. Now, the next day I had the same problem as a completely a completely grayed out area of the eye for 10 seconds in the left eye. So that tells me it has nothing to do with the vitrectomy. And my ophthalmologist told me that you can have this sort of incidents. They are quite rare, and it's just like having a strike. It's about blood pressure in the vessels. If the vessels have some sort of a cloth, you can have a strike in your eye, which I didn't know, but as you would have a strike in the brain. And probably it's related to blood pressure, salt and fat and alcohol and whatever happens on the holidays. So that is unrelated to the vitrectomy, and that's why we are here to discuss about the vitrectomy and the floaters. From a floaters perspective, right eye floater free, very happy with the result. And I do remember a completely painless experience for me, but I do see other people have different experiences online. And I gotta say, everyone is different. Yeah, I'm not gonna recommend you doing the vitrectomy. I know there's a lot of you now, because I can see it in the amount of people and messages I get. I can see there's a lot of people who are suffering, and if you, obviously we know what we're talking about, and it's very difficult to convince someone else who doesn't experience the floaters how bad they can be. Now, for me, it was debilitating pain 24/7. I could see the floaters still through the dark. I would have almost physical pain. Just the fact that the floaters coming back and forth 24/7 is something that you as a viewer probably experience, because that's why you're here, but nobody else can, not even the doctor. They think it's some kind of a joke or some kind of imagined nuisance. Just continuing with this video, I think I'm gonna take and respond few questions, And remember, I'm not a doctor. I will give you opinions, and they are nothing more than opinions. And you shouldn't take a decision going with a vitrectomy or not because of me. You need to consider your own circumstances. So I'm actually wanting to respond few people online. Just give me a second. I will find the comments, because I can see a lot of people are asking, and some of you guys are desperate to take a decision, and that's not what I'm here to do. I don't want you to take a decision because of me. I just want to be helpful and share my experience. I'm just going to go backwards. I'm not going to go back 3 years down the line. So one Enza says, you have your head up to this video. She's watching one of the older videos, one of the original videos, and says, what about face down recovery? You're taking a chance. So I think she's referring to the fact that if you do have a retinal detachment, you have a slightly different operation. Even if it includes a vitrectomy, the doctor would leave a big eye bubble, and because the retina would have been detached, you do have to face down and make sure the eye bubble is up, so it will put pressure on your retina, and you have to do that for a few weeks, as I remember. That wasn't my case. My operation was quite simple, and the eye bubble in my eye was quite small. It actually disappeared over 3 or 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. How are your eyes now? Did you get cataract? So I guess that's the main concern for everyone if you get cataract. I just want to emphasize that getting a cataract, again, it's a matter of when and not the how. So if you're not ready to accept a cataract, when I went to the vitrectomy operation after I accepted that I will have a cataract at some point in time. It took me 6 or 7 years to do that, but this is where I am today. So if you're concerned you're going to get a cataract, probably that's not the right approach. I think it's highly likely that you will get one, depending on your age and your eye, and also depends on if you decide to go with a vitrectomy. Do you do a full vitrectomy? Which, in case I did, that means the entire vitreous has been removed by the doctor, and not a partial one. So I know there's a conversation about, do you take the entire vitreous out and you leave some? And that's something that I definitely put a lot of thought into it, because the theory is you just imagine you scoop just the middle of the eye and you get rid of the floaters, but you leave let's say a layer of vitreous stuck onto the retina. That means you still have vitreous, probably the oxygenation of the intraocular lens, the one that is actually prone to cataract. The transfer of the oxygen will be slower, and it will reduce the chance, or maybe the time when you're going to get a cataract. But with that problem in mind, as long as you still have vitreous in your eye, you're still able to get floaters. So I read about cases that they can still get floaters after a vitrectomy. So this is something I think it's very important if you do decide to go for a vitrectomy, to decide, do you do a full vitrectomy or a core vitrectomy? You need to do your study on that one. Do you try low dosage of atropine eye before you stepped into the surgery? Did I try atropine eye drops? I'm not sure what atropine drops are. Maybe they are the ones that the doctor uses. I haven't tried anything because I'm not supposed to try anything. The doctor did the whatever the drops they used for the eye. So the answer is no, I did not try atropine. I did hear about this atropine thing. I've seen it online, and I've seen a lot of things online, what you can do to remove the floaters, what sort of things you can do without going through the vitrectomy. And I watched the vitamins and the pineapple. I think they all crap. I don't think you can take anything orally to get rid of the vitrectomy. Once the vitreous is collapsed as a protein, I don't think there's anything you can do physically. How should I put it? You can't take anything that will fix that. I don't know. Maybe someone will discover a magic substance in the future that will fix it, but until then, I think the vitrectomy is the only way to actually get rid of them. Another one, please update. I just did. My eyes are fine. Eye pressure. I do have elevated eye pressure, but because I have both eyes pressure, and every time I go to optometrist or ophthalmologist, I get different readings. I can't say this is due to the vitrectomy. This is basically the eye pressure is about lifestyle, salt, whatever you're eating, whatever your lifestyle is. And actually it varies, just like the blood pressure. It varies during the day, and if you take a reading in the morning, it's not the same reading you're going to take it in the afternoon. Are you thirsty? Are you dehydrated? Everything can affect your eye pressure. So it's not a sign of anything wrong, but something that be mindful. So as far as I know, a normal eye pressure would be somewhere between 10 and 20. Don't ask me what that means. And once you're above 20 to 30, you're elevated high pressure. And if it's about 30, again, don't ask me what's the measuring unit. About 30, you probably need to go to the hospital because you're gonna be you're at risk developing a glaucoma. I'm about 22 out of 30 being the threshold, so I'm not panicking at this point. Another one said, you should have waited till you got the final results after a week or even days after you got your surgery and your patch came off. I'll pray for you. Thank you, that wasn't the case. I'm not going to comment on this one. Another question, how much does it cost? So, well, I'm in Australia, I paid around $4,000 or thereabouts. Can't remember. It wasn't covered by any private insurance because it was classified as an elective surgery. It might be some minor deductions with the Medicare, whatever, depends on your country. I paid 4,000 Australian dollars ish. Any cataract, any other surgery, and other issues? No other issues. Other issues are not related to the cataract. Again, I'm 27 and planning for it. Well, good luck with that. Just be careful. I guess my best advice would be choose your doctor very careful, because I did see horror stories on a Facebook group, and it just proved the world is full of unprofessional people, and you can get it wrong. This is not something you I guess you play with. It's your eyesight is probably very important. And just want to say it took me 3 years three years of communicating with this particular doctor, because I had other 2 or 3 before, and until I got the full confidence that he can do the vitrectomy and he was open to do it, I didn't go ahead. And not only he wasn't open to do it, when I talked to him, he said to me, and I mentioned in one of the videos, that it's my decision. He did not encourage or discourage me to do it. I need to be prepared for cataract. It will be my decision. So he didn't sugarcoat anything, and he was front and honest about it. That you go this way, you might do more surgeries in the future. So I had to accept that. But if the doctor will say, I had doctors who told me that they will not operate because it's not a condition or whatever. Other people recommended the vitreolysis, and as a reminder, I've done probably a few sessions of vitreolysis before with the laser. Didn't do anything, so that is basically bullshit. Doesn't work in my case. Maybe it works for one floater, but once you have floaters, you have a problem, and a laser will not fix it, because you don't have one floater. You would have in my condition, you'd have hundreds of them, little and small, and I don't think you can actually pinpoint. I don't know how they do it, but pinpointing with a laser ray is something that it's mind-blowing. How can you even think you can get rid of them? You're just shooting into a damaged vitreous, and you hope to isolate each individual one. It's just not realistic. Will you make more videos? Well, this is one of them. I'm not gonna do more regular videos, but if you do have questions and the questions haven't been repeated yet and I haven't answered yet, feel free to put it in the comments in one of those. I do get them, and I do look from them time to time. But this is not a commitment for me to update you every month. It's been 3 years. So if I get good questions, I'll probably respond directly in the comments, or if there are too many questions, I will probably do another video. But yeah, again, don't rely on me doing regular videos, because that's not practical. Another one, what about bleeding in my in the eyes? Doctors telling blood will settle down, the floaters will be gone, but the floaters are just too much. Can you explain? Shall I go for vitrectomy? I cannot tell you to go for a vitrectomy. That's pretty much it. They keep repeating themselves. Some of them are just thanks, some of them are just expressing some opinions. Again, the decision rests with you and solely with you, and in my case, I have zero regrets at this point in time. I would probably do it again if I would be in the same position. I do expect to have a cataract later in life. Just want to be very clear with that, so I already accepted that. Someone talks about 27 gauge vitrectomy. So about the gauging, so I know I did a lot of reading back in the day. There was 22, 24, 27. 27 is basically the smallest needle they can use, and I don't believe the size of the needles would be a factor. I know if the needle is too thick, like a 22, you might need to get some stitches because the hole will be left too big, and the doctor will have to stitch the hole, obviously, so the whatever is there doesn't come out. I did have a 24 as far as I remember, and the doctor just put the stitches anyway, and he removed the stitches, and the stitches he removed one of the stitches later manually when I saw him after 5 days. But these stitches are made with a string that will dissolve itself. With the 27, the way I read it is gonna take too long to actually exchange the liquid, because remember, basically a vitrectomy, the doctor takes material out from the eye, and they have to put something back in, which is water with salt. So if someone asks, what are you replacing it with? Well, it's a saline solution, water with salt. Now that will eventually get absorbed, because there's as far as I know, there's a natural cycle of the water inside the eye. So the eye will naturally replace that saline solution with something over, I don't know, 24 hours or something. It's irrelevant. So inside you'll still have a type of liquid, which is going to be water with something. But vitreous is a gel-like. That gel cannot go back. So I did hear someone, my vitreous has recovered naturally. Well, you haven't done a lot of reading, obviously, because that doesn't happen. I guess that's about it. If you have any more questions and I can answer, I'm happy to provide an opinion, not an expert response. And again, if you do have floaters, debilitating floaters, vitrectomy is an option. Depending when you're measuring that success, the answer can differ. At this point in time, 3 years into my vitrectomy, no problem, no issues, and I hope it will stay the same even with cataract surgery. I know there are routine operations, but still things can go wrong, and I've seen a lot of cataract surgeries going wrong, and it's not a pretty picture. So it is what it is, and I will leave it at that. Again, leave your comments somewhere in the section, and I will see you at some point in time in the future.